Hey everybody, this is Catherine Wright with the Wright team at Remax Professionals. I'm here to do the real estate. This is about being a husband and wife team. It's something that I've talked a lot about to people recently, especially when we went to Blueprint. This was something that came up a lot, and that's a Tom Ferry event that we went to. Because there's a fair amount of husband and wife teams out there to sort of make sense of both of your professional sales sort of people, and then to sort of join forces and work together. It's a lot of things that you've seen on HGTV. They love the idea, but the nuts and bolts of it is something entirely different. So it's been interesting learning with Randy how to do this and working through things. And so there's three things that I've really learned a lot about. The number one was who is in charge. I have a background being, I grew up Southern Baptist, and a lot of times with the Southern Baptist, the men get to be in charge. And so I sort of thought that that Randy would be in charge, but it was my business that I started in 2010, and Randy came in 2015, and when we had this discussion, he said, no, that he's not going to be in charge because number one, I'm the one who has the big vision for the business. And number two, I have the experience in it. And so the person who is in charge of the business is the person who has the dream for the future, who has that driving force behind them, that they want to see it completed no matter what. And it's going to be the person who has the most experience usually. And so on our team, I'm the team leader. And then that brings us to the next part about staying in lanes. Just because I'm the team leader does not mean that I do everything. It means that I'm basically the tie vote. Like if there's a tie, then I'm going to be the one who makes the decision at that point. But we still, because we're a team, we actually work together in making decisions and building the business. We come up together with a strategy, and in order to build that strategy, we had to figure out who is responsible to do what. So what's each other's, where are the lanes? What am I supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? And what are we responsible for? So number two thing I'd like to say is that it's very important to stay in your own lane. So I'm in charge of working with the listings and I'm in charge of marketing. And I'm also in charge of the working with the investors. Randy is in charge of working with the buyers and also building the systems and doing a lot of the day-to-day sort of making sure the systems are working, making sure like we have the lock boxes under control and things like that, that if they don't happen is a big deal. And he's working with doing the showings and making sure that he's answering the call for, like if somebody contacts us through Zillow or Trulia or through Remax.com, then he's the one who's in charge of answering them, finding out what's going on with them and helping them to find a house. If we get outside of our lane, we're not as effective. You can only work hard at something that you're in charge of and that you're motivated about and that you can see the outcome of. If you can't share it, you have to stay in your lane. The next part is about the third point is make sure that you know how to have a discussion and how to stay on topic. One of the worst things to do is to have a meeting that's supposed to be a budgeting meeting and instead having it a planning or a marketing meeting. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that if you're having a budgeting meeting, everybody is prepared to have a budgeting meeting, and then you talk about the budget. Because otherwise you're wasting your time and you're frustrating everybody. So that's one of the things I learned was to have meetings that make sense, that stay on topic, and that stay inside the timeline given for them, usually 30 minutes, and that you don't have them at home, you have them at the office. And so that's very important, is to plan the meetings, keep the meetings within the time frame, and talk about only the subject that's supposed to be talked about at the meeting, because otherwise you're just planning all the time and never getting anything done. So super important. Meetings, stay on topic, keep it to a timeline. So hopefully this is helpful. That's some of the most important things we've learned. I'm sure everybody has their own experiences and have learned other things. I do believe that Most people have to deal with the same issues because that's just how we're made. So if y'all found this helpful, do a thumbs up or a share, and feel free to leave some comments and or questions for me to answer. And of course, you can find out more about us at lawton-home.com. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for joining me.